Boom, boom, boom.
The Truth, episode 74. There's some talk about a young star leaving Philly for OG vet. Let's figure out what we're going to do about it.
Yeah, not happening.
Story today that the Steelers are talking about trading TJ Watt. TJ Watt wants another contract. He's got 1 year, $21 million, I think, left. Non-guaranteed. Andrew Filipponi of our station in Pittsburgh, said that he thought that Nolan Smith and a late-round pick would get you TJ Watt. Look, TJ Watt is awesome. Ike went through the stats the other day. It's crazy. You look at TJ Watt stats and Myles Garrett stats, they're like the same.
I think I would do it. I would do it.
And I would pay him.
And I would pay him.
Wow.
I would do it.
Wow.
Now, I don't think they will. I would guess that of all the teams we would view as legit Super Bowl contenders, they probably have the least amount of snaps from their edges last year of any team. So while I am high on Nolan Smith, and it would definitely sting to give up on a talent like that, and I do think he's good for their locker room. I mean, TJ Watt is way better than Nolan Smith. It's not even close. It makes everybody better. It makes Jalen Carter better. It makes Jalix Hunt better.
Oh my God!
And Jalen Carter.
Oh my God!
Man.
And he's what, 30?
Yeah.
So maybe
got some good years left.
If you give him $75 million guaranteed, and he's here for 3 years.
3 years. Yep. We literally went bonkers about Myles Garrett.
Yes.
At the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
TJ's the better player. Just from a stats point.
Yeah.
He's put up better numbers. They came in the same year.
Yep.
They got the same awards, same accolades, Defensive Player of the Year, all that stuff. I'm just saying. One guy has 102, other guy has 108. Here's the one thing that I'm looking at. Forced fumbles. TJ Watt, 33 forced fumbles to Myles Garrett's 20.
Over how many years?
Both 8 years.
Wow.
What's going on, everybody, man? And welcome to the very, 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 very first episode of The Truth, where not all Eagle fans agree on everything, and this is definitely the spot where this shit about to go down. Let's go.
Lock in, gotta stay locked in, goggins. Gotta ball out like Rodman. Chuck Club, I'm here for dominance. I'm being honest, that's what I want. I'll never give up. I want the whole place sold out. My name in every mouth. You know I'm after this shit. Till the world say my motherfucking name. Say my name. Say my motherfucking name. Say my. You know I'm after this shit. Till the world say my motherfucking name. Say my name. Say my motherfucking name. Say my. You know I'm after this shit. Till the world say my motherfucking name.
Driven by fire, driven by fear. Never still hit drive. Give me one shot and I'm coming alive. Names on the left, second taste it. Gunning for the top, no limitations. From the basement, no hesitation. Flipping on my L's with straight motivation. Ain't no.
Yes, sir. We're back, baby. We're back after 2 years. Not 2 years, 2 weeks. JC and BG are in the building. How's everybody doing today? Hit that like on the way in. Hit that subscribe. Make your comments. Vote on the poll. I need you guys to let me know how you're feeling about this trade rumor. We're going to definitely get into it. But first, how you been, my guy, JC? How you been?
Man, I'm good, man. Training camp is exactly 2 weeks away. People start reporting, I believe, July 22nd. And then 23rd, officially, training camp kick off. And finally, when training camp kick off, football is back. I mean, there's so much riding on training camp, the battles, under radar, players that could possibly replace some vets. So I'm definitely looking, forward to training camp. And I think this, on the defensive side, this is about to be an intense training camp because there's a lot of positions up for grabs.
Yeah, there is, man. There's a lot of positions up for grabs. The safety spot, number 2 corner spot, 3rd DT spot, the start and end spot,
linebacker,
running back spot. Like, there's a lot of, things up for grab, man. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, this training camp is even going to be better than last training camp because, you know what I mean? Hey, like you said, at least we knew that Slay, you know what I mean? He was going to be, CB1, but I knew that, Q was going to be CB2, but she was riding on Bradbury, you know what I mean? And the linebacker, we knew that Dean, but the bond was unknown. The safety position, we knew that, Chauncey Gardner was back. But this time around, I mean, the safety position, like we don't even know, man. Yes, Sidney Brown, Vic Fangio, he came out talking about, hey, this is his training camp because last training camp, he missed that. So, I mean, we're gonna see, man. And then the other corner spot, Adoree Jackson, Ringo, or even the rookie that we drafted. I mean, it's a lot of unknown. Dean, going into his final year, can he come back, midway through the season and do enough so he could get a, extension with the Philadelphia Eagles? I mean, it's like so much, man. So many storylines. Like, I mean, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be a long look. Don't expect to know who's starting on the defense until like the final cut. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, man. It's going to be one of them dragged on things until we figure it out. But hey, guess what? At the end of the day, I ain't got no worries, baby, because this team's going to definitely be dynamic. This team should have no Super Bowl hangover. And, I feel like there could be a couple of pieces, a couple of moves maybe to say that Howie might make before the season, and one of the big moves you want is, Justin Simmons. Mm-hmm. But recently they talked about this, you know what I'm saying? And they talked about trading Nolan Smith to the Steelers for TJ Watt. You know what I'm saying? Nolan Smith is a blooding star. He's rising star. He had some injuries, but he's been getting better every single year. He's a Philly dog. Everybody in Philadelphia loves him. I did a video earlier and everybody's already starting to hate. They're like, what are you talking about? Don't do it. Don't do it. Hell to the no, hell to the no. But I think there are some things you can look at, and really consider, and I think we're going to get into that, really consider about this trade. There's some intriguing things about this trade.
No, it's not.
It can work. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no.
You heard what he said in the intro, right? You heard what he said in the intro. And here's some more talk about it real fast before we break it down.
Typically, player-for-player acquisitions in the NFL don't happen. But we just saw one literally a couple days ago with the Steelers when they got Ramsey for Minka Fitzpatrick. So maybe this is what the Steelers are kind of thinking now. And I thought about it yesterday. So I want to make it clear. I really like Nolan Smith. Like I believe Nolan Smith's going to be a good Eagle. When he was drafted, I remember we said, I think we had him on like the day after he was drafted to you, and I was like, he reminds me of a young Brandon Graham. He has that infectious personality. Yeah. He's already a good player. I know he just had an incredible postseason run to help the Eagles. He was so good in the postseason.
Yes, he was.
And I think if nothing happens and he stays here, he's going to end up as one of the best Eagle defenders for the next 5 years. I really like Nolan Smith. But the more I thought about the concept, like Nolan Smith and a late-round draft pick for TJ Watt, Hugh, the more I have to do it if I'm the Eagles. If it is out there, I have to. Let me hit a couple things that I've been thinking about. Number one, and I know you're going to bring this up. I know a lot of people have. He's cheaper, right? He's way cheaper, and that's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
But he's only way cheaper for so long. So Nolan Smith was a first-round pick in 2023. And I heard even Joe this morning say, well, he's cost control for the next few years. Well, maybe. He could be. He's contract extension eligible after this season. Now, the Eagles don't have to do anything to his contract. Like, they could keep him cheap. But if they like him and he produces, I imagine the Eagles are going to pay Nolan Smith after this season. So, although he won't make as much as TJ Watt, I understand that, he's not going to be dirt cheap for much longer. So that's one. Number two, if the Eagles don't get a TJ Watt, where else is he going? If this blows up in Pittsburgh, where's he going to go? And I keep looking at the Commanders, and I'm like, man, they did a lot to that offense. They haven't touched that defense. They feel like they're a team that could do it. I don't want to see TJ Watt on the Washington Commanders chasing down Jalen Hurts. The third thing that I think is important to note in this whole thing is while I like Nolan Smith a lot, I think there is a little bit of a red flag we're ignoring with him. He is a smallish defensive end
Smallish.
that has had injuries in each of his first 2
A
seasons.
little injury prone.
So the first year was the shoulder, and it kind of ruined his whole first year in the NFL. He didn't get to do much because he was kind of out of it the whole first year.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's coming off of a torn triceps in the Super Bowl. Is he going to hold up at 240 pounds? I don't know. I mean, maybe he is, but I don't know, and that's part of why this is on my mind. And the last thing is, I'm not saying Nolan is not going to be really good. I think he is. But are we getting fooled by a good second half of the season? He in his first year and a half in the NFL, he has, 7.5 sacks?
Yes.
He came on strong. But I've seen players have big postseasons, and then they kind of revert back the next year. I mean, Derek Barnett helped the Eagles win a Super Bowl. He made big plays in 2017. And then he never develops. Like, none of this is a lot.
This is like, 94 Whip is the most dumbest Philly sports station there ever been the whole time. Every player on the Philadelphia Eagles that they talk about trading never happens. A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, and now they're trying to compare Ramsey to Fitzpatrick. This is so dumb to me. It's ridiculous. Your defense, probably almost 50 or 60% of your defense still have to get paid. They're young. Why would you go out and make a trade where T.J. Watt want Myles Garrett money? Just like they say that Nolan Smith might be, extension eligible after this season coming up. Guess who else? Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter. I mean, those two guys are extension eligible also. Kelly Ringo, Reed Blankenship. Half our defense is going. No, Kobe Dean. What are we talking about here? I can't wait for training camp to start because all this dumb trade, all these stupid, scenarios to me makes no sense. You cannot. This is not fantasy football. This is real life. This is real life football. There's a cap. Even though we think that Harry Roseman, he's the best kept genius ever, I understand. But you cannot. This is so dumb to me. It's just clickbait for content creators. But Howie's not even thinking about that. TJ, he want Myles Garrett money. Myles Garrett is making $40 million a year. $40 million a year. So you mean to tell me that you're going to have TJ Watt, Jalen Carter, possibly Jordan Davis, they're all going to be making $30+ million a year on that defensive line? Man, get the out of here, man.
And I get what you're saying. But, we do got to talk about this a little into details, right? And I understand all that. And let me be the first to tell you, I love Nolan Smith. I love the story. I love the Philly dog atmosphere. I love that locker room, connections that he have with all the guys. I love his passion. I love his will, but there are some things that are pros and cons in this, So let's go over some of the pros for both teams, and then let's go over some of the cons. First off, we're going to start with Nolan Smith and why T.J. Watt would be awesome with the Philadelphia Eagles. So first we got here, instant upgrade with the edge, Super Bowl ready defense. Watts is a proven game record. Veteran leadership and playoff experience is high. Pressure now, potential later. And so just talking about these things right here as pros, why we would trade for TJ Watt. You know what I'm saying? He is an instant upgrade at the edge. Regardless of what we feel about what Nolan Smith can or cannot do, Nolan Smith's never had a double-digit sack season. This guy's been in the Pro Bowl the last 7 years in a row. Never missed the Pro Bowl the last 7 years. 4 All-Pros. If you count the Associates Press, is 5 All-Pros, first-team All-Pros. A Defensive Player of the Year in 2021, I think it was. He has the tie for the sack record with 22.5 sacks. Now, even in our wildest dreams, we love this Nolan Smith. Do you really think Nolan can put up any of those numbers at all moving forward? That should be the first question you think about. Can he put those numbers up? I don't think he can. You know what I'm saying? Like that. TJ Watt's a generational talent. He's already booked himself for a Hall of Fame. 108 sacks, fastest to 100 sacks. You know, yes, he is 30 years old, but he has years left in the tank, my guy. You know, yeah, he played a little subpar last year. This guy's averaging since 2020, averaging 14 and a half sacks per season. Hassan Reddick didn't even give us that. And we love Hassan Reddick. We loved he had one season. What he gave us the 16 sack season. One season. But this guy does it year in, year out. You know, he has 108 sacks. Myles Garrett, we all wanted Myles Garrett when he was available. Not we all, but a lot of people wanted Myles Garrett when he was available. He has 105 sacks. This guy has 33 fumbles. My guy, strip sacks, fumbles. You know, he's a game record. So before, you know, I feel like before anybody, you know, be like, oh, I wouldn't do it, you got to think about some of these details, my guy.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it because I think y'all forgetting Nolan Smith rookie year. We had who? Josh Sweat and Brandon Graham, right? I mean, those were your edge, right? And you know the Philadelphia Eagles, man. Hey, those were your starters, Josh Sweat and Brandon Graham. All right. So, and then he got hurt and boom. So his rookie year was a wash to me. Last year, we went out and got Bryce Huff. And then we had Josh Sweat. We had Brandon Graham, right? So Nolan Smith was behind the depth chart. He didn't even start half the season last year. He only started when Brandon Graham went down. So, like, it's not his fault that he had people in front of him. Yes, hey, look, people say if he was that good, he should have beat them out. I get it. But Brandon Graham was, I mean, he proved he still has something in the tank. And then Josh Sweat, Josh Sweat, hey, he's been one of our best edge rushers since, the past few years. But when he had his opportunity, he went out and showed out and dominated. So let's see how he does this year before we say, well, the first two seasons he had 7.5 sacks. Put some context into it, right? He didn't play his rookie season. He barely played at all. And then this past season, he played half a season. So now he's going to be a full-time starter, right? Like he's the first on the depth chart, so there's nobody in front of him. So now let's see how he goes into the season before we start making these wild accusations. Hey, he will never get double-digit sacks. Could he live up? We don't care if he live up to a double. Brandon Graham, the most beloved Philadelphia Eagles, and y'all was trying to trade him after 4 seasons because he was small edge rusher, right? He wasn't getting these sacks, and now we want to build a statue outside the length for him because, he's been that good for us after his 4 or 5 years. So let's give him a full year starting before we start, entertaining these BS, fantasy football trade that we're talking about. Like, this is ridiculous. How many playoff wins does TJ Watt has? Put that shit down. How many playoff wins does TJ Watt have? Because the Pittsburgh Steelers had a good defensive line with Herod, with Highsmith, with TJ Watt. How many playoff wins? If he's so great, if he's been dominating 7 years, how many playoff wins he got? How far had the Steelers advanced? Okay, then. So I don't want to hear about how dominant.
I was going to bring up some more of those clips, but I'm going to get straight into it. You're making my point exactly. Everything you just said right now is the reason why we should do it. Nolan Smith, he got hurt his rookie year. He had Brandon Graham and Josh Sweat ahead of him. That's the reason why he didn't get no time on the field. We're talking about TJ freaking Watt since he started has been the man in football, my guy. The man, number one, better than he won Defensive Player of the Year, my guy. The best defensive player in the league, okay, from start till now. So it's like that argument doesn't really work with me. How you gonna say a guy that got hurt 1 year? Oh, he had some people behind him another year. He got more reps. Oh, he's about to go into his first year, starting his third year. Finally, we don't know what he can do. We still won't know what he can do. He's been hurt 2 out of the 3 years. He can come in, have a good 4 or 5
He got
games
hurt in the Super Bowl, my guy. He got hurt in the Super Bowl.
But listen,
and
he
he
can
still
come in
played
and have a
through
good
it.
4 or 5 year stretch and get hurt again.
This dude got 4. Yo, he is the leading sack getter in Philadelphia Eagle history in the playoffs. Come on, his first year, his first year, second half started. Like this dude had what 4.5 sacks in the playoffs. Come on now, like, and let's not act like what he did the second half was a fluke. So that's what I'm saying.
Try to compare a second half of a second season to a guy's whole career. Never, even last year, double-digit sacks, and it was a down year for him.
The problem is this:
he had 12. So in his shittiest year, he has 12 sacks, I think it is, and you're still trying to compare a guy who
look. For all these great edge rushers, hold on. For all these great edge rushers, right? The Micah Parsons, the Jajan, the Garrett, and all the playoff record is ass. Like, I don't care,
my guy. The Steelers aren't as good at offense as we are. They're not
it's
as good
always
at
going to be an excuse. It's always going to be an excuse why players don't show up in the. Hold on, let me talk. Hold on. There's always going to be an excuse why big time players don't show up in the playoffs, right? Oh yeah, the offense was bad. Oh yeah, the team don't show. Michael Parsons got 1 sack in the playoffs. Like, I mean, Myles Garrett, he probably never made the playoffs. Like T.J. Watt, like this dude. Come on now, all these guys are regular season dominating, but then when it comes to the playoffs. Where are they at? Nolan Smith has shown us more in the playoffs than Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, and T.J. Watt combined.
You know why?
Wait, I don't care. Why?
Because your defense isn't as good as ours, for one, and for two, they're the main focal point. Just like last year in the playoffs, like you said the last show. Oh, the Super Bowl got here, and the whole team focuses on stopping Saquon Barkley. And that's another reason why I'm going to talk about this. I'm glad I thought of this. The whole team thought about stopping Saquon Barkley. That let Jalen Hurts and those receivers thrive to win a Super Bowl, right? If every year Myles Garrett on the shitty Cleveland Browns team and T.J. Watt on an average, Pittsburgh Steelers team are getting to being the focal point, of course they're not going to have big games. Everything's, garnered towards stopping them from disrupting this game. You're getting double team, you're getting triple team, you're getting quadruple team probably. Everybody else on the field probably let free because those two guys don't have the same caliber players on their defensive line. You throw Jalen Carter in the mix, Jordan Davis, Jalen Hunt, Ojomo, Robinson, all these Bulls, you put those guys with a TJ Watt. It's already bad enough we think that Jalen Carter's the next coming of Aaron Donald. It's already bad enough for that. That we think that Jalen Carter's just this superstar player that gets double teamed, and then Jordan Davis gets double teamed because of his size. How the hell are you going to double team all 3 of these guys? It's not possible. Okay? You put Jalen Carter and TJ Watt on even the same side of the field. It's a problem for every offensive line in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? We're hoping that a guy like Nolan Smith can produce good to be a system player in a system, produce what you can produce. At the end of the day, we got a bunch of good players. But this could be a whole nother thing that we've never seen. NFL's never seen before. If you put Jalen Carter and TJ Watt on the same defensive line, opposite sides, what are you going to do? Pick your poison. You double team Watt, Carter's going to be single cover. He's going to get the sack. You cover team Carter, Watt's going to get single cover. He's going to get the sack. It's simple math, my guy. And back to this whole thing about, we got to pay all these youngsters. People forget one thing in this argument, right? Not only do we have to pay these young guys, right? The Nolan Smiths, the Jalen Carters, the Jordan Davises, you know what I'm saying? The Quinyon Mitchells, the Cooper DeJeans, if they does good. Reed Blankenship's up right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, not only do we have to pay these young guys, our window's 2 to 3 years. in 2 to 3 years, we got to play the old guys too. We got to re-up Jalen Hurts. We got to re-up A.J. Brown. We got to re-up Devontae Smith. We got to re-up Saquon Barkley, Landon Dickerson, Jordan Mailata. You know what I'm saying? Cam Jurgens. All these star players at the same time. You know, that's why people set up their contracts.
So you just went up against your own argument right there. Like, you just went up against your own argument.
No. Look,
TJ Watt is going to cost more than Nolan Smith and Jordan Davis combined.
Let me finish what I'm saying.
That makes no sense.
If
you're a bad GM
needs to get paid in 3 years, why not? That means our window for real is 3 to 4 years. It's a real window where we need to get as many championships in that 3 to 4 year window before everybody needs to get paid, young and old. We got 3 or 4 years. So why not go get it? A TJ Watt. You're giving up draft picks. We got plenty of them. You're giving up a young blood and star for a proven vet, a guy that can step in and make your defense immensely better right off the jump for the next 3 years. You can set him a 3-year contract. How we know how to do it?
A whole bunch of BS that nobody cares about.
Down the line, and then everybody will be up in 3 years. And then, at that point, I really feel like fans don't understand. As much as we like seeing these players get drafted, as much as we like the talent that we have on this roster, in 3 or 4 years, most of this talent is leaving. They're leaving. No team has enough to pay millions of dollars to all your players, all of them, because they're all going to be up in 3 to 4 years. So why not capitalize now? Well, yeah, you might suffer on the cap, but hey, you look at how right now we got 32 minutes.
Hey, look, man, it's been 5 minutes, man. Yeah, you've been running your mouth for 5 minutes of bullshit. Look, you talking about these teams, they game plan for the Michael Parsons, they game plan for TJ Watt. Wait a minute. Then they game plan for Jalen Carter in the playoffs, and he still wrecked the game. He's the reason why we won. No. That's not a question. That's not a question. That's not a question. Hold on, man. Let me finish my thought.
That's why Nolan Smith is.
Let me finish.
He did get 2 sacks.
Bro.
Jalen Carter wasn't a dominating force, oh my God, player the whole playoffs. Let's not get it twisted. Yeah, he made that play in the Rams game, but he was good. I'm not saying he was shitty or nothing throughout the playoff run. I'm saying other guys stepped up throughout that playoff run that were stepped up a little bit more.
I forgot my point. Go ahead and talk. I forgot my point. I mean, no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm just saying.
Let's move on.
I don't like arguing against our team like that. But at the end of the day, football is football. And as fans, it's the next season up. You know what I'm saying? I get the whole longevity of it. That is one of the cons of it. You would only get them for 2 or 3 years. You would only have a 2 or 3 year window, to maximize the defensive line to win a couple more championships. But I think you would do it. You would win championships. You put it, like I said, no defense in the NFL have a Jalen Carter and a TJ Watt on it. If our defense is already number 1, how much better do you think they're going to get with a TJ Watt and a Jalen Carter in the same defensive line? Just answer that. It would be immensely better. We are hoping and praying that the progression of Nolan Smith continues over the next couple of years. That's what we're doing. We like him.
You keep repeating the same shit.
We like him, but we're just hoping and praying, my God.
Is it a guarantee if we get TJ Watt, we win 3 championships, we win 2 championships? There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee at all. The teams that went on runs, Patriots and the Chiefs, dynasty teams, they don't have that 3-4 guys on the defensive line that's making $30,000+ million. No, they win by, yes, they have young studs, but they also have players that takes the hometown discount to stay. So yes, we could always project that, hey, Nolan Smith, he might walk, all these guys might walk. How many players took a hometown discount to stay in Philly the past couple years? A Josh Sweat took one. A Brendan Graham took one. These guys are taking, because they love to play in Philly. But TJ Watt, you bring him in, he's going to eat a lot of your cap. And then, like you said, half our offense is going to be re-up for another deal. Our whole defense is going to – but TJ Watt will swallow at least three players you could pay on that defense just by himself. Like, that makes no sense to me. I know y'all like to play, and we need a super team and stuff like that, but we won. We won the championship because we drafted right. We won the championship. We won the Super Bowl because of our young rookies. Why not let them grow together and then see what happens? Like, why can't we become the Chiefs or the Patriots? Why are we chasing more superstars that want a lot of money to come and do what? Just eat up our cap space, and there's no guarantee we win another championship.
The same reason for one, look at what the Niners and Cowboys did when they were in their three-piece. And it went in there. They went out when the
90-something? The whole league is different.
When they couldn't beat the Niners, what did they do? They went out to Atlanta and got Deion Sanders, a superstar. The Eagles, when we didn't go win the Super Bowl, what did we do? We went to the Giants and got a superstar, Saquon Barkley, to put us over the hump.
But we already won a Super Bowl, though, without Barkley.
What?
But we already won a Super Bowl without Barkley.
Not this team.
We went to the Super Bowl with Miles Sanders. So your argument is void right there.
Well, we didn't win the Super Bowl, did we?
Our defense was ass. Our defense was trash in the Super Bowl. That's the reason why we didn't win that Super Bowl.
We were the number one rated sack defense in the league. We had the most sacks almost ever in history.
I hear you.
But
trash. We both watched the game.
We both trash. They had a bad game in the Super Bowl, but our defense wasn't trash.
Our defense was trash in the Super Bowl.
That year. So what are you talking about? Our defense was trash.
I'm sorry.
And is a good back when they got an offensive line. Everybody knows that. Okay. I'm just saying, you see the difference when we got a Saquon Barkley.
It's not that. Saquon, no.
Saquon didn't help us win a Super
Bowl. No.
The big reason why we had the winning record that we had. We won Super Bowl. He didn't light them up in the playoffs. He didn't light up the Rams in the playoffs. He didn't light up who else? The Packers in the playoffs. He didn't light up who?
This supposed to be a one-man show, man. Every time I start talking, you interrupt me. Like, golly, I can't even get my point across. Like, if you want to talk, then hey, I go sleep, and then you could talk all night. I know you could talk, but let me get my point across. Our defense was trash in the Super Bowl. If we had one stop in the second half, we have 3 Super Bowls right now. Miles Sanders didn't do nothing in the Super Bowl. Saquon Barkley didn't do anything in the Super Bowl. But the difference is this time, guess what? Our defense dominated. Our defense was getting stops, was getting turnovers. Yes, that year in 2023, we had the most sacks, the third most sacks in NFL history. I get it. But we both watched the Super Bowl. I mean, they were slipping and sliding everywhere. Like they couldn't get close to the quarterback. But guess what? Our secondary was bad too. Jonathan Gannon. I mean, come on now. It was so much stuff that happened in that Super Bowl compared to this past Super Bowl that you could say one stop, we 3-time Super Bowl champ. So it wasn't Saquon Barkley that made us win the Super Bowl. It was the same game plan in this past Super Bowl compared to 2023 on the offensive side. Same game plan. Stop the running game and make Jalen Hurts beat you. But the difference is our defense stepped up. So, yes, I hear you. You know, hey, Barkley was great throughout the whole season. I'm not taking nothing away from him. But in the Super Bowl, our defense was trash. That's the reason why we lost that game. It wasn't nothing else, but we couldn't get one sack. But moving forward, we don't need a TJ Watt. We have enough talent on the defensive line. Why y'all want to blow everything up for TJ Watt that had not proved anything in the playoffs? Yes, I mean, you're talking about, hey, they game plan for them, but Jalen Carter, he helped us every playoff game. He was making plays up the middle, pressuring the quarterback. We saw the impact of a superstar in the playoffs versus 3 superstars not in the playoffs, not making no plays. So
keep trying to bring the playoff thing up to argue against what?
Because you have to. You have to.
The teams were trash, guy. If Cleveland even made the playoffs, I think they did it one time, if that. They were trash, my guy. The Steelers. They're like the 5th, 6th best team in the AFC. We're not talking about an average team adding a player to an average team and wondering why the player didn't do good. TJ Watt would have none of this talent that he had on defense or the offensive side of football. So their team losing the playoffs don't mean crap. The players he played with in the playoffs don't mean crap. It's the same thing with Barkley. When Barkley was over there, he ran for good yards. He was still a star running back before he came to Philly, but he was on the Giants. They sucked. When he came to a good team, the Eagles, he went to the next level.
The Steelers make the playoffs every year.
Why do you think that couldn't happen with a guy like TJ Watt?
The Steelers make the playoffs every year. You cannot tell me your team is that trash and you're making the playoffs. Even with Big Ben, I think his last year, TJ Watt was there when, the Steelers was like the number 1 seed and they wetted the bed the last, just like us, right? They just went losing 6 out of 7. He was there. He was on that team. They were good. Like, shoot, they was undefeated until the Commanders. The Redskins at the time beat them. So he was there. So you cannot tell me that every time they go to the playoffs, their team is trash, and that's why TJ Watt don't show up. You know what I mean? So,
I'm not saying their team's trash compared to the team we got right now. That's the point. No matter what, all those years they went to the playoffs, what were they ranked? Like, you already knew Kansas City was going to be Super Bowl contenders. The Ravens, Super Bowl contenders. The Bills, Super Bowl contenders. For a minute there, the Bengals, Super Bowl contenders. Their odds of winning the Super Bowl were like 5, 6 out of their own division, my guy. That's a different atmosphere as if you trade a guy to a team like this. Like, there's nothing you can say that can deny that. And if you deny that, you're obviously not a football watcher. Because if you watch football, you had a guy like TJ Watt. This defense is already the number 1 defense in the league, my guy. All you're doing is keeping that same talent and adding like 14 more sacks, 20 more sacks, depending on how good of a year he has, to make that defense even more dominant. Give TJ Watt, not only does he have sacks, strip fumbles, my guy. He has 2 fumble coverage for touchdowns. He got like 4 touchdowns. He has 2 or 4 picks from the line of scrimmage where he's just his savviness. He's one of the best players ever, basically what I'm saying. In terms of positional, you look at Saquon, what he ranked as the best running back before he came to the Eagles, you'll probably say Saquon Barkley is the top 10 running back before he came to the Eagles, and he became number 1. You take a guy who's already number 1 defensive player in football today and put him on a number 1 defense. You don't think that'd be a huge effect? Come on, my guy. That's not football. That's not football.
Okay. I mean, I think it would be dumb. I won't even entertain it because you are short-sighted, nearsighted. It's like, okay, there's no guarantee we bring TJ Watt, we are winning a Super Bowl. There's no guarantee. If you tell me the future right now and you guarantee us winning 2 Super Bowls with TJ Watt, I'm like, man, do the trade. But there's no guarantee. You know what I mean? So, but you have a young talent right now that went to the Super Bowl. We won the Super Bowl without TJ Watt. Why can't we do it again?
You know why?
Without TJ Watt. Why?
Okay, listen, let's go back to your little Nolan Smith thing. He wasn't a starter last year, for one. He's going to be a starter this year. That's a big difference in roles, my guy. That's a big difference in role. You don't have Josh Sweat, who was our leading sack getter last year, whether you like Sweaty or not. I love Sweaty. He was our leading defensive end last year.
He's playing every game.
Milton Williams gone, who was one of our top DTs behind Jalen Carter last year. Okay, you had our linebacker gone that stepped in. What the boy named that was stepped in for Dean, who had a phenomenal end of the season playoff run. Orrin Burns. So you're missing some guys from that Super Bowl team that we don't got anymore. You got to level up.
Brooks played 3 games. And then, you want to talk about Nolan Smith second half? Man, Burks played midway through the Packers game, in the playoffs. Okay, congratulations. But we did draft another linebacker, and Dean possibly is coming back. So, okay, we're good there. So, as far as Milton Williams, like you're talking about Jordan Davis
starting next year.
You talking about Jordan Davis? To me, Jordan Davis is supposed to be better than Milton Williams. So, we should be good there, right? So we should be Jordan Davis, Carter. Now you add Nolan Smith. with the rotation we have.
Jordan Davis going to replace Ben Williams when Jordan Davis was on the team last year. He was one of the reasons why. He actually had a great playoff run too with 2 sacks. So you can't say that. He's still going to be on the team regardless. So he doesn't replace nobody.
And he barely played. And now since he's in the best shape of his life, going to a contract year, we supposed to have on paper Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, the most dominant double team, triple team. So Nolan Smith should have the TJ Watt effect, right? Hey, he's 1-on-1. Hey, he should be having double digit. I bet you Nolan Smith get double digit sacks this year.
That's what you lose.
I bet you Nolan Smith get double digit sacks.
Smith's name and TJ Watt's name.
I say TJ Watt effect because guess what? Hey, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis is going to get double team. So
that's
Nolan Smith is going to strip fumbles.
That's like saying the Eagles. That's like saying we picked up Ty Robinson now, and Ty Robinson can have the Aaron Donald effect at the defensive tackle spot.
Who?
Same thing.
Who? Ty Robinson?
Oh my God!
He hasn't played a snap yet in the NFL.
Nolan Smith has not done really nothing in the NFL. Is what I'm saying.
Okay,
he's been in the league for 3 years.
Let's change the topic real quick, man, because we beat this one.
3 years.
Yeah.
For our All-Pro Hall of Fame player.
3 years. What 3 years?
Most dominant player, defensive player in football, compared to a Nolan Smith who's been in the league for 3 years.
He's going to his third year. He's going to his third year. Stop adding.
Okay, going into his third year, whatever.
Okay.
From first snap to now, TJ Watt's been the best defensive player in football. Like, I think if it was a Myles Garrett, I would be a little bit more concerned about it. Because, yeah, he shared being the best. But TJ Watt got better stats than Myles Garrett, my guy. Like, and when we're talking about Myles Garrett, there's a lot of Eagles fans wanting Myles Garrett on this team. But now, all of a sudden, that it's TJ Watt, it's like you don't want him on the team. Come on. Make it make sense.
I didn't want Myles Garrett either. I don't want all these guys that you are about to pay and mess up our defense. I saw enough. We have enough depth on that defensive line to be okay. Stop. I don't know what y'all think this is. It's not reality. This is real football. We have some depth on the defensive line. The rotation. You bring in a TJ Watt, you're not rotating him. He's going to be an every down player. So now, guess what? Hey, guess where our depth is at? On the sideline watching, they can't get in the game. Come on now. Fresh bodies is that's how the Philadelphia Eagles roll. Rotation. Every guy besides Jalen Carter, everybody else was rotating besides Jalen Carter.
So now you got 2 guys that don't have to rotate no more.
Then get rid of your team. And get rid of your depth then. I mean, you don't need nobody else.
Though, JC, that's what I'm saying.
You don't need nobody else. You don't need nobody else.
None of them are proven. That's all I'm saying. It's none of these depth pieces you're talking about that need to get in the game have done anything in the NFL. Compared to TJ Watt, who's the best defensive player in football.
I think that I don't know what's up here, but you're acting like these guys are not 1 and 2 years in the league. So of course, you're not going to see.
He's been the best defensive player in football. That's the difference you don't understand. These guys have been in the league for 1, 2, 3 years. So, yeah, they need time to progress to become something that we don't even know they've never done. They never got double-digit sacks. They never put pressure on. They never got 33 strip fumbles. They never got none of the stuff that TJ's gotten since he started in the league from year 1. This guy's been the most dominated player in football. Even when Aaron Donald
in the regular season,
he was the defensive player of the year.
In the regular season. You are correct. In the regular season. So we cannot talk about Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott in the regular season, he's one of the top 3 quarterbacks almost every year in the regular season. But then when he gets to the playoffs, he's 2-5, right? Because he doesn't show up. And now you can't say the same. Like, y'all some hypocrites, man. Y'all pick and choose who to defend in the postseason.
You have to only compare scenarios with the best, JC, is what I'm saying. He's the best defensive player in football. You can't say nothing about Dak Prescott. You can't say nothing about no other player that's not the best at their position to make the argument. The argument is he's the best player in football. He wants a new deal. He wants to get out of Pittsburgh if they don't give him a new deal. the Eagles have an opportunity or could possibly have an opportunity to trade a young star that hasn't even sniffed the surface of what TJ's done in a draft pick where we got 13 draft picks next year. So what are we really sacrificing? For real, if you think about it. What are we really sacrificing?
Money.
Money. We got cap space now. We don't have cap space later. Howie Roseman is the cap genius. I'm not worried about
say that. It's gonna just he's a cap genius, but he don't need. Look, all right. Look, can we move on, man? Look, is this the only topic? Because this is like I'm done talking about this. This is ridiculous. It's not ever going to happen, and we spend 45 minutes talking about fantasy football right now. This is fantasy football we're talking about. So
that's how good he is. That's how good he is that you think, oh, we're talking about fantasy football. We're talking about
it's fantasy football. It's not realistic.
Why wouldn't it be though?
It's possible. I'm not gonna start this conversation again.
50-50, right?
No.
It can happen or not happen.
No,
like I said, I love Nolan, dog. If it doesn't happen, am I gonna be sad? No, because like I said, I think our team's good. But the team as itself, the arguments that I just want people to understand the arguments that you use for why not doesn't work. The arguments that you use for why you shouldn't do it doesn't work. Money. We got Howie Roseman, who definitely can move money around for the next 3 years if we want to get a guy like TJ Watt. And these guys will all be on the contract, and all the contracts will expire at the same time for the most part. And our team's gonna be different after that anyway. But that would make this 3-year window really special. For 2, you talk about player development and young guys. It doesn't matter who we develop on this team. I can guarantee you, I'll bet $1 million. None of these players on our roster, not even Jalen Carter, not even Jalen. He hasn't even hit double-digit sacks, and everybody crowns him the king. Not even Jalen Carter will ever produce what a TJ Watt would produce. If TJ Watt came to this team, Jalen Carter becomes the second best player on our defense. That fast, instantly, right now, done. Second best player on our defense. And why wouldn't you want that if you're really talking about winning Super Bowls now?
Okay.
But anyway, so that's what I had to say about it. You guys let us know in the chat what you think about it.
Yeah. They've been letting us know how stupid it is the whole time. They're talking about how stupid. Stupid the whole time.
Don't think what your ego hat on. Think logically.
I am thinking logically. You're not thinking logically.
After our team is completely washed away, the 3-year window that we got right now, if you got to bring a guy with that caliber of football on our team, his experience, all that stuff, we can win some Super Bowls, my guy. We can get at least 2-3 Super Bowls out of that.
We can win some Super Bowls.
That's all it's about, right? It ain't about being a good team. It's about can you or can you not win Super Bowl? It took the Eagles, what, 50, 60, 40-something years to win a Super Bowl, one Super Bowl? And yeah, we won another Super Bowl, what, 8 years later? Do you want to wait another 8 years, 5 years or something to win another Super Bowl? Is that how we are as fans now? Because I'm about keep winning them back to back to back. I want to be the dynasty. I want to be when you think of the NFL dynasty best teams ever, I want you to say Philadelphia is the best team out of any franchise ever put together. And I think a move like this could definitely make that happen. But hey, we've been on it for 48 minutes. Let's go ahead and jump on another topic I want to talk about with you.
Yeah, real quick. We wasted a whole bunch of time talking about nonsense.
Who do you think will be a surprise player? Give me a couple surprise players and why they will be surprise players that all offseason no one's talking about. So don't give me the stars. Give me some players that you think really can make an impact this year.
I mean, well, it's going to be mainly on the defense because the offense is pretty much set, right? I mean, besides right guard, I think that we might, if anything, we might get like a surprise player in the training camp. It was like, oh my God, he's emerging. He could challenge Steen for the right guard position, right? But like on the defensive side, like I think it's gonna be Makuba, man. I mean, I really think that we might see Vic Fangio pull what he did last year with Bradbury. You know what I mean? Because like I think that I don't trust Sidney Brown like that. Like, and you're talking about injuries, man. Shoot, Sidney Brown, hey, he's been injured every year, right? And to me, he's not a real cover safety. He's more like, man, like a hybrid in a box safety, right? He goes in trying to lay somebody out, and sometimes he could get beat. But I think Makuba, he played at a high level in college. You know what I mean? Championship games. I think his instinct, it kind of reminds me of a Chauncey Gardner, but he's a better cover safety than Chauncey. Remember, Chauncey was a nickel corner, and then when he came to Philly, you know, I mean, that's when we were trying to, you know, made him go play safety a little bit. But I think Makuba is somebody to watch for. I mean, you know, just like Vic Fangio, he said it for a reason. It's basically Sidney Brown and Makuba. They're both starting like, hey, no training camp for Sidney Brown last year because he was hurt. So, I mean, they did ask Vic Fangio, hey, you know, does, you know, Sidney Brown have a leg up because, you know, of the defense? He was like, what? He missed training camp last year, and then he barely played, you know. But I do think Adoree Jackson also.
Yeah. My USC fight Trojans, we fight. Let's go, baby. Adoree.
Yeah, I think if Adoree Jackson, it's almost like Rango, right? Rango, I do want Rango to win. I do want him to win that CB2 spot, but don't sleep on Adoree Jackson. It seems like that players that come from the Giants, look, their first year with the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Bradbury, Barkley, and now you got Jackson, right? So now they got something to prove. 1-year deal. I mean, he's a vet, so don't be surprised if you start hearing that he might have a leg up on Rango. And if that's the case, then Rango is gone next year, right? Because we did draft another cornerback. You know, we did draft another cornerback. You know, in the draft. So Adoree Jackson, that other defensive end from the Giants, man, that we got. What's his name? Huh?
Ojulari.
Yes, him. Yo, hey, look, don't be surprised if he's start opposite side of Nolan Smith. We are talking about Jalex Hunt, right? I'm telling you, Ojulari, whatever. Hey, he might be even better than Josh Sweat. Once again, players that come from the Giants got something to prove. And his motor, I mean, this dude, hey, don't be surprised at those three players. Hey, don't be surprised those three players are starting day one. All right? Ojulari, freaking Makuba, and Adoree Jackson. So, I mean, those are my three guys.
Ojulari's going to be starting opposite
Nolan Smith. Yep.
Ooh. What about Jalen Hunt?
I mean, hey, just like you said, right? Shoot, as a matter of fact, he played less than Nolan Smith, and you're not high on Nolan Smith. So why
not? Listen. That's not that I'm not high on.
No, you're not high on Nolan Smith.
I love Nolan Smith.
No, you don't.
Don't get me twisted. That was just a debate, my guy. And I was trying to give Eagle fans true facts of why the trade could work. It wasn't that I want the trade to happen. It wasn't that I think the trade would happen. It was just a hot topic in the offseason that I wanted to talk about. But I wanted to give fans true reasons why the trade could work for us. It's not a trade where you get, it's not going to work. Our team's going to be trash. It's not going to work. He won't do anything
for
us.
But nobody said the team was going to be trash, though. The problem is it's like almost fantasy to have TJ Watt on this.
It would be a fantasy if we had TJ Watt.
I mean, look, if Howie could pull it off, look, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, we got TJ Watt, we got rid of. No, it is what it is. But I'm not going to play that game. Like, I'm not going to play that game, oh, TJ Watt, unless it's happening, unless Howie Roseman bring him on. Like, all this is just for content. Like, and who knows? It might cost draft picks, multiple draft picks, right? We got multiple first-round draft picks, players involved, and all that. And you still got to pay them. So it's a lot you got to do. But let's get back. So, yes, so those are my three guys. Adoree Jackson, Makuba, and Jordan.
I like this guy too. Like I said, of course, I'm a big Adoree Jackson fan. But like you said, I would love Ringo to finally. You know what I'm saying? I would love him to win a spot in his fourth year, third year. I would love it to happen, Ringo. I'm hoping he does. But I am a USC fan, and I do know Adoree Jackson's a savvy vet. And you put him on a defense like this, he don't have to be, the best defensive player on the team like he had to be on the Giants. He just had to do his role. And a guy with that kind of talent, that kind of speed, he can definitely do his role, my guy. He'll definitely be able to play that role good. I feel like really confident, just like you seen at Rodgers last year. He said whenever he stepped in, he played his role good. He didn't have to be that stud guy because those guys were drafted to be number one. Rodgers was drafted to be number one on the coast. You need to be the shutdown corner and have all this pressure on them. You got guys, and then he comes in for Darius Slay last year, and he plays good football. He made a lot of good plays last year. So Adoree Jackson, same thing, coming to shitty Giants and had to be this superstar to help save the franchise type player. Maybe that was a little bit too much pressure for him. Bring him to the Eagles where he has no pressure because there's studs on the other side. You got Cooper DeJean in the slot. You got Blankenship in the back end. I do agree that he can definitely come in and if he is that guy that I think he is, he can definitely win that spot for sure. Who else you said?
Makuba.
Makuba, I think it's gonna be a fight with Makuba for real. Makuba is a young guy that's coming in that people are saying he can be the next Buda Baker. You know what I'm saying? The next Buda Baker, just because of his skill set. Obviously, like you said, he has a better coverage grade. I mean, not grade, but coverage skills than the CJ Gardner-Johnson, which is already a plus for our defense. And he can come up and make a hit. He's not scared of tackle. He's not scared of none of that stuff. So we'll see. But I really feel like I want Brown to win it because just kind of like I want Ringo to kind of win it in the offense. What are these guys doing on a team for so long if they can't win starting spots? So this is Brown's time. He got hurt last season. He came back, mid-season, before I think he didn't even play to the end of the season. But when he played in that Giants game, I think it was, he played, he showed up and showed out. You know what I'm saying? I think he understands being his third season now that he has to slow down because he'd be way like the Tasmanian devil out there doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? I think he can slow down. That what time comes experience. I think Sidney Brown can win that spot. And I wouldn't mind if Sidney Brown does win the spot. I kind of am rooting for him to win it. But if Makuba comes and takes it, then it's his job to to lead our team with. I'm not down. I'm not against that either. And who you said Ojulari? Ojulari is another Georgia Bulldog, my guy.
Yeah, 25 years old, man. Yo, this dude is still young.
Old. If he starts with these guys, you not know we have it's possible we can have an all Georgia defensive line. All Georgia, Ojulari, Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter, and Jordan Davis, all Georgia Bulldogs starting. Is that a good thing? I guess they're champions, right? That's a good thing they're champions. But I really want to see Jalen Hunt really step up because no one, even me, last year when we drafted Jalen Hunt, I didn't expect him to be that great. To be honest with you, I was like, who the fuck is this guy from this small school, and why the hell did we draft him in the third round? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell's going on here? That was a surprise pick after, you get Quinyon Mitchell, you get a Cooper DeJean, then you get a Jalen Hunt. You're like, what? Like, what just happened here? But he showed up and showed out in that playoffs, my guy. He showed that he belongs here. He's high energy, high motor. He comes off the edge really good. And I want to see the young buck win the starting spot for real. I know you got Ojulari, who was the same thing, was on the Giants shitty. You got that Uche guy that was on the Chiefs, who had a good year, and then he was like whatever last year, healthy scratch last year. But at the end of the day, those are three really good ones. If I had to say my players that you might want to be like keeping an eye on is, let's go back to the offensive side of the ball for a second. Because you said there's no offensive guys, and I think there's a couple of offensive guys that no one's really talking about that could make a big splash this year. One, that right guard spot, Tyler Steen, How does the last couple of years got slotted into as a starter and lost his job? He lost his job to what's his name last year, and
Beckham.
Becton, yeah, last year. And I'm not saying he's gonna lose it this year, but people forget we drafted Keegan last year. You know what I'm saying? Keegan was moving up the depth chart. Keegan was a really good lineman. They were talking about like Stoutland was praising him. Everybody's praising him. He got hurt, you know. So that's the reason why. And plus, Becton's obviously he was the number 1 draft pick. He's better than probably both of those guys.
Yeah.
But now with Becton off the team, you need to watch out for a guy like Keegan. He got championship pedigree, just like the Georgia Bulldogs. He had championship pedigree from Michigan, won championship starting guard. He got flexibility. He can go guard center. And I think in this training camp coming up, keep an eye on him. I wouldn't be surprised if by mid-training camp they're saying that either he's the backup or he takes over that job from Steen. Even though Steen from Alabama, pedigree's high, it's just something about Steen. It's just like you can't keep losing your job, my guy. So show that you can start this year without losing it. And he got more than just Keegan to worry about. Matt Pryor came back to our team. Matt Pryor's a big-ass boy. He started on the Pittsburgh Steelers last year. You know what I'm saying? So he's already started with the Eagles, for that matter. So he got a lot of competition at that position to look out for. Other than Steen, I'm going to say John Dawson, my guy, receiver, third receiver. You know what I'm saying? Like, people still wonder what that third receiver going to look like. And I really think Jahan Dawson, after you see what happened, after Jalen Hurts seeing what Jahan Dawson could do when he was out those games, he had a 100-yard game, a 90-yard game, 2 catches in a Super Bowl. 1 should have been a touchdown, was on the 1-yard line, whatever. I think Jalen Hurts will trust him now moving into this season. And I think that he can have a bigger impact with the emphasis being out on Smitty and AJ than any of us even thought of. You think of a lot of good offense, especially passing wise. You look at a lot of good offenses throughout the years. That third receiver, right, gets the least amount of pressure. You get the third cornerback or a safety or a linebacker on you, you can light it up. And I think him coming into a full off season with the Eagles, he can go out there and be a legit, and I mean a legit, like even that year that I think what the Cowboys had Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb, but it was it Tolbert, I think it was, the third receiver that year? Gallup. Yeah, Gallup, who had 1,000 yards that season and went to the Pro Bowl. He can have that kind of year this year because everybody's going to be focused on AJ, Smitty, Goddard, and Saquon. Those 4 players, everybody's going to be focused on. If he shows up and shows out like he did in the playoffs last year, he had the first touchdown in that Green Bay game. If he show up and show out like that, man, I think for real, he could be a guy to watch out for this year to have a monster season. And then
but there's one more on the offense that and that's a dark horse. Can he be the next Mekhi Becton, tackle, 6'6", Michigan, Miles Hinton? If remember, he got drafted in the 6th round. I mean, Jeff Stoutland, man, he loved them. He loved to try to see, because we all thought that Beckham was going to be a tackle. Who thought about guard? And then he was one of the best right guard in football. So, yes, Miles Hinton, yes, he's a rookie, but, man, he's a big –
You can't Hinton for guard?
Yeah, for right guard. Can Stoutland do the exact same thing? But he's a tackle, though, right? I mean, he played tackle, but can he do what he did with Mekhi Becton? Put him between Lane Johnson and Kim Jurgen and had the same offensive line, and 6'6", 300, and let me see, 6'6", 323 pounds, man. Out of Michigan, man. He was one of the guys that slipped down the draft board, man. So who knows?
Yeah, that's another good one. I was even going to say to you in terms of offensive guy that can make an impact, because he did this already before, and that's AJ Dillon. Aaron Jones was a starting running back in Green Bay, but A.J. Dillon made a name being that second back. You know what I'm saying? And when Aaron Jones went out, A.J. Dillon had great games. Maybe when Saquon needed breath, the defense lets up a little bit. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Saquon's out of the game. And he can pop off. Boom. Pop off some big runs, too. If I had to name off one player on the defensive side of the football, though, and no one's really talking about, I would have to say maybe even a Trotter Jr. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Because Trotter Jr.
Man, yeah, he's supposed to be one of the starters, man. Like, man, everybody talking about that. It's going to be, because Nolan Smith, he's not a Dean, he's not going to be ready. So it's basically Trotter Jr. or
Campbell. But they were saying today that Campbell might be ready by training camp.
I mean, hey, we'll see. But Trotter Jr. is not being slept on.
Everybody like Dean's not making it. Then Campbell's gonna make it, and Campbell's gonna be the starter. They're slotting him straight into the starting spot. You know what I'm saying? If he's ready first day of training camp, everybody's slotting Campbell and which you should, because he got the talent to do it. But man,
first round draft pick.
First round draft pick.
Hey, you love him first round draft pick with impact. But Ty Robinson to me, man. Hey, Ty Robinson. That guy, white gorilla dude, big old country. Ty Robinson next to Jalen Carter, that is something. We all trying to pencil Jordan Davis.
Best ship of his life.
Best ship of his life. But don't be surprised because Jordan Davis, he had 3 years to show he could be in shape. So right now, I don't trust that he could be in shape. What took you so long? But don't be surprised if Ty Robinson have the impact that Milton Williams had, right? He played a lot more than Jordan Davis. Him and Carter together is dangerous. So Ty Robinson, watch. Ty Robinson is the guy on that defensive line.
That guy that led all of college football in sacks last year. That he was like our 7th round pick, and everybody said the only reason why he didn't draft it because he had short arms.
Oh yeah. I mean, shoot, man, I don't know his name like that.
I don't know his name like that either. But I heard that he was having a good mini camp, and if he could grow that into training camp, that could be an unsung hero too as well. So, bottom line is we got a lot of young potential. It's time to see. You said training camp's a week away, 2 weeks away, or something like that.
2 weeks away.
It's time to see which one of these potential stars can actually be stars. Because with this defense moving forward, and we were a number 1 defense last year with basically, who was the real stars on the team? CJ,
Cooper. No. The real stars, you say. Real stars, not Slay.
Well, he had the name of being a star.
No. The real impact players: Bond, Cooper DeJean. Let me see, Bond, Cooper, Q. Yeah, Jen, and they're all still here. That's what I'm saying. So with Bond, Cooper, Jalen Carter, Q, they're all still here, right? Those were the bright spots. Those were the stars on that defense. And then, later on, you got some more stars like Nolan Smith. He started, showing up. Milton Williams, he's the only one that's gone. And then Chauncey Gardner, Yeah, he got, he gave about 5-6 touchdowns, bombs over Baghdad by himself. So, but still, so out of those stars I just named, the real concern I have is the safety. I believe you should have a legit veteran safety back there, Justin Simmons. I'm going to beat this until, but Justin Simmons, to me, if you get Justin Simmons on this defense, he will have a bigger impact than any other veterans that you could bring on. And he's going to be cheap because that back, we playing a lot of teams with a lot of good wide receivers that you can't be caught looking. You need a veteran, a real safety. Like what? I think he made the Pro Bowl 4 times. This dude is a legit safety, and he's not going to be that much, right? And now he could learn. Makuba could learn. from him. So we'll see. Reed, to me, I still don't trust Reed. Yes, he come up big. You know what I mean? Like he had like 3.
Are you signing Reed? They said there are talks that he probably won't, but it talks that he could possibly hold out for a new contract. Are you trusting Reed? Are you re-signing Reed?
It's hard for me to say, man. Like
because they can totally not re-sign Reed.
Like the only time I really see Reed is fourth quarter, 2 minutes, and diving interception to steal the game. But throughout the whole game, I don't see his impact. I do not see Reed Blankenship impact throughout the game. It's always like the last 2-3 minutes, and then bam. But so I guess it's the fear of missing out, right? If you don't sign him and then he goes out and have a great season, and now what? I think that he would take a hometown discount. I think a lot of these players on the Philadelphia Eagles defense would take a hometown discount. Jalen Carter, I believe, he's not going to say
because I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it to get
money. So a lot of these guys that when we're talking about, you know what I mean? Like, I really feel like they could take a hometown discount to keep this core together. Like, this could be a dynasty. If we try to keep these young guys together, grow together, we could become the Patriots without going out and try to get a big splash, to ruin our cap. Like, reward these guys. Howie Roseman rewarded Barkley because he had a great season. So Howie Roseman will reward you if you could, if you play, if you show him that, hey, I'm about it. He got your back. And that's what's so good about the players in Philadelphia. They're not trying to be, I want to be the highest paid. I want to be like AJ Brown. Like this dude, like what? He's not even top 5 in wide receiver money right now. Devontae Smith. Yeah, Smitty. I mean, Dickerson, Hamadiata, Hurts.
But you think about that though. Saquon last year said that there's more money on the table, that he took a discount to come with a winning team like the Eagles. What makes you think a guy like TJ Watt wouldn't do it either? A discount for him would be like $25 million.
You listed all his accolades, man, and that's why the Pittsburgh the Steelers, man. Yes, I understand that he's one of the most dominant defensive player, probably, going to go down Hall of Fame already 7 years into his career, but. I mean, there's a reason why Pittsburgh Steelers won't pay him. Look, if Myles Garrett could get paid on a shitty defense, on a shitty team, they ain't going nowhere. Why can the Steelers that is expected to be in the playoffs, that expected, right? A Mike Tomlin team, like you're not going,
like you not Aaron Rodgers. They just brought over DK Metcalf.
Yeah, nursing home crew. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Those guys,
Jalen Ramsey,
regardless of what nursing farm he came out of, his contract always gonna be fat, my guy. It's Aaron Rodgers.
They got Ramsey. What they got paid too. They got Ramsey. They got a bunch of old dudes, man.
They got all these other guys that they got over. They need to pay too. So it's like, damn, like
who
use the money as a reason why you wouldn't bring back a Hook and
yeah. But the Steelers is old, man. The Steelers is old.
If the trade were to go down, one of the pros was you're pairing Highsmith, that rookie from last year. Highsmith had a great season, or was it the year before or whatever? He was a good rookie, that had a great season. He's a good defensive end. You're paying him with another young buck that you don't have to pay TJ all this money. You'll be pairing him with, and that's one of the reasons why I think the Steelers will make that trade too that we didn't talk about, was because Alex Highsmith was a great player. You pair him up with a Nolan Smith, you got a nice young bookend for the next, 4 or 5 years too. So that would be another reason why that trade would go through. But hey, man, it was supposed to be a call-in show, guys. It's too late to do it now, but we didn't even say nothing about it in the beginning of the show.
Well, next week, 1 week before training camp, we'll have a call-in show.
Next week we will have that call-in show.
Training camp.
Yeah. How you guys like the new intro too? I think one person say something about the new intro. Anybody else like the new intro? Because I like it. I love it.
We don't draft defense tackles and think they're already like Cowboys do. They rookie. Yeah, I think I'm excited, man. This team is so like the way they finished the season last year. I don't anticipate any drop off. Even Reed Blankenship was like on that little podcast. He was like, "Yo, we way ahead of where we were last year." I mean, that's the scary part about it. Like, yes, we're gonna have some guys in there, but last year the whole defense was new. They had to learn Vic Fangio language from start. I mean, from start to finish. And now you saw, and it took 5 weeks, to get going. But now, like, all you adding is a piece there. Rango, he was already on the team. You know what I mean? If he does win the job, Dean, if he does come back healthy enough. But then, if not, then Trotter Jr. He was there on the team, so he kind of know the defense. So not like Reed Blankenship, not Sidney Brown. Even though Vic Fangio said, hey, it's up in the air, but guess what? He still was on the team, so technically he kind of know the defense a little bit compared to starting from scratch last year. You know what I mean? So this defense could be so fast and hard hitting and scary from September 4th until who knows where we might end up. I mean, that's the scary part about it. That's why I don't want to ruin the continuity on this team. You got a young stud. They played in the Super Bowl. They know they can play with anybody. And now you got all these young studs now. We got one of the youngest defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
So
you do. And I agree with you like that. Like, that is one thing I am looking forward to seeing these guys, come up and ball out. Like you said, 1 year, everybody's already that much more advanced going into their second year with the same defensive coordinator. They're not mixing up defense coordinators. And that is the reason why we don't have to do the trade. That was just more of a topic thing. And I think that I do still feel that if we did make the trade, I'll be all aboard. I'll be all aboard with that too, because I understand what they're trying to do too. And it just make it, like you said, a Madden team, a fantasy team, a fucking best defense ever, going out there to be the best defense ever in football history, because the development of the young players that will be starting with a guy like TJ Watt will be amazing. So.
And plus, one more thing about that too. Who knows if TJ Watt even fit the Vic Fangio scheme?
Oh, he does.
Hey, we saw Bryce Huff. He couldn't.
You want somebody to coverage? TJ Watt got interception from the line. I was trying to load up all the clips because I was going to play a bunch of clips here. You can go see it in my video, and I don't even think I have those clips in the video I posted earlier today. Make sure you guys go check that out. But this dude is amazing. Like, when I was watching the clips of this guy, I was going through, I forgot his name. He had a bunch of highlights of TJ Watt. And this guy's amazing. Like, I didn't really think he was as amazing until I actually seen it. Like, this guy got picks from the line of scrimmage. Like,
yeah, I saw him do it. I watched a lot of
multiple picks from the line of scrimmage. Like, this guy's savvy vet. You know what I'm saying?
Forced fumbles. He always go in, punch the ball.
Ready want to leave because the Big Fangio have him dropping in coverage. You get a TJ Watt, you can drop in coverage too.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, you can do everything you would want to possibly. I think, to be honest with you, he'd probably be Big Fangio's wet dream. Pause. But he would. He'd be his wet dream. Like, the guy can pass rush, he can strip the ball, he can intercept the ball, he can cover, he can do it all, man. Like, it will be that much more. I think it would be a lot more influential than a lot of people, that think we shouldn't make the trade really feel about it. Like, I really feel like it could take us way over the top. Like, I think 2 out of 3 Super Bowls in the next 3 years if we get them. And then that's saying everybody else stays healthy and everybody else plays to the capabilities that we get to. We think that they're going to play at. You know what I'm saying? Like, they all played to where they need to go, where they need to play. I think that would definitely put us way overboard because, just the whole fact of being on a better defense with a better defensive coordinator with a better offense to support you because offense helps defense helps offense, man. Like, our offense putting up these points. Now you just got all you got to do is get after the pass. Man, the way I see this guy dip and rip through the best defensive lineman.
Yeah, Lane Johnson. Yeah, he
Lane. Yeah, he got a couple sacks of Lane too.
Yep. And a strip sack on Jalen Hurts. And a strip sack on Jalen Hurts when he went in and punched the ball. Yep.
And I didn't say this about Myles Garrett, and Myles Garrett is probably the second best defensive player in football right now. But I just feel like if it wasn't for him being like the best, like if he wasn't for him being the standard, like even him coming in, everybody's like it mess up the culture. I don't think it would mess up the culture because everybody realized why they did it, and everybody realized that everybody else probably want to be like him. You know, they want to get to his level, shit. So why not have him on a team? I bet you Jalen Carter would probably be the number one fan of that move. He would thank you. All next year, I don't have to get double teamed. What? Now I can get double digit sacks.
Yeah,
now
but I like the Georgia Bulldog, man. I like the Georgia Bulldog connection, man. Yo, they play together,
but
man.
we're not the Georgia
They've been brothers. You know what I mean?
Get so caught up with the Philly dog thing.
Yeah,
the Eagles.
I understand. I understand.
School at in college.
But just like, hey, Twin said, look, hey, Nolan Smith is young. I'm greedy. I want to be good for the next 5 years, not just 2. You know what I mean? And I understand, you know, like
I think we get
like these guys could grow together, man. Like, I like
after 3 years, guys. Like, I don't care what y'all feel about it. I know y'all think how we keep drafting good.
TJ Watt.
We got 3 years, my guy. 3 years. Period. Like, I don't care. There's too many good young talent to pay, and there's too much good old talent to play. When you got both of those colliding at the same time, this team's gonna look different in 3 years. It's gonna look way different. AJ might not be here no more. Saquon could possibly not be here anymore. Freaking one of our offensive linemen might not be here no more. You know, just go to the defense side. Half of those defensive players might not be here anymore in 3 years. I'm hoping that they figure it out, but it's a possibility.
But the cap go up every year. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so the cap go up every year, and that's why because of the cap goes up every year. You don't want to use.
Think about that. Jalen Hurts' next contract by himself. When he got his contract, he was the highest paid quarterback for like a month or 2 months. If he re-ups again, even with a team friendly, that next contract is going to be ridiculous. You know, and as much as a team friendly as you want to talk about Jalen Hurts getting, he got 255. If you don't think his next contract is going to reach well over 255, then you're smoking shit. You know, if you don't think AJ, who's already restructured his contract twice since he's been here.
Yeah, but these contracts is how it goes. It's only adding. You see, these contracts are only adding a couple years, right? Harry Roseman is always ahead of the game. Like, he don't wait till they expire. They just say, hey, let's extend you 2 more years. And now we have 3-4 years, right? Because he's always early. So, yes, these contracts, you think they might collide, but Harry Roseman is always ahead of the game. He never wait for it to expire.
Even being ahead of the game is still a lot, okay?
So why you want TJ Watt?
AJ Smith, because I'm talking about the next 3 years.
I understand, but you got to pay.
We don't have to pay Jalen for 3 years. We don't have to pay AJ for 3 years. We don't have to pay Saquon for 3 years. We don't have to pay Bond for 3 years. I think there's a trend here. If you not noticed that all of the contracts end at the same fucking time. All of our star players contract end at the same time. There's a trend here, meaning how he's trying to make it happen now and the next 3 years, because he knows in 3 years from now, no matter how much money that thing goes up, you got to resign all these star players from the line to the receivers, to the running back, to the quarterback, to your cornerbacks, to your safeties, to your linebackers, all of them, my guy. Like, all of them going to have to get paid at the same time. And that's when our team's going to change. So why not, if you can maneuver now, why you don't have to pay these guys now, you got 2-3 years to pay these guys to re-up, but you can tell them they might want an extension because we win another Super Bowl, but you can tell them, fuck no. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all on contract. You know what I'm saying? You have the right as an owner to say that, right? But you can have TJ Watt. We have $35 million in 30-something million in cap space right now. You can maneuver a TJ Watt in there for the next 3 years. I'm not saying what happens after that. I'm not saying he will be on our team after that or any of that stuff. I think everybody's getting cleared out, really, for real, and that's how you got to clear up all this money. But, you know, after the 3 years, it's going to be up, my guy, and then that's when you're sitting there. If all these young stars we just drafted over the last 2 years perform to the capabilities that we want them to perform at, man, that's just a wrap. That's just a wrap. Yeah. But, hey, much love to all you guys, man. Like, hit that subscribe. Shout out to the 55 up in here. You know, share this content out with everybody out the truth. We will be back next week with a call-in show. Make sure you guys tune in. Go check out my new video right now. TJ Watt, Nolan Smith. You know what I'm saying? My last video. Hey, salute to all you guys that watched that last Jalen Hurts video, man. That thing made me some money. I love it. It was good. It's a good video, and I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. So make sure you guys stay locked in, stay tuned in to all the content coming from The Truth, JC Sports Talk, Birdgang 31. We're gonna start getting more consistent as this, the off season wraps up and we start getting into training camp. You probably see a little bit more content from us from there on out. So much love to you. Any final words here, JC?
Nah, man. Hey, just bring all your questions next week. And look, these call-in shows, man, some of y'all be talking a lot of shit in the chat. But we put the link in the chat. Man, all of a sudden, it's like crickets.
Right? That is something weird. Are we doing a call-in show? Are we doing a call-in show? Yeah. And when we do a call-in show, no one
like crickets, right? Because they scared. It's easy to, to be behind a computer and, putting your opinions. But look, next week is a calling show. It's 1 week before training camp. We want to get your last take before training camp starts. The biggest camp battle that you're looking, towards. Like, how far could this team go? How much better could this defense be? Every burning question you have, just bring it on, and then we will entertain it. All right. Look, I love to hear myself talk. BG definitely love to hear himself talk. Believe me, I be getting pissed off too. But we like to hear y'all too, right? Right. We like to hear y'all. Jenks. I know Jenks. He called it a couple times. So hey, we can't wait for next week. Call-in show. All right. We might just start off a little bit, probably 10, 15 minutes, and then we're gonna let y'all, call in. All right. So that's all I gotta say, man. Go Birds.
Also, let us know in the chat, in the comments, no matter if you're watching this now or later, how you like the new intro. Because on the way out right now, I'm gonna play an intro that I like too. We made 2 intros. Me and JC preferably love the first intro. I love it too because I love both of them because I created them. But I love both intros. But check out the second intro on the way out the door and let us know which intro you really like the most.
Said JC want us to do his job. No, man. Hey, we just want to hear y'all opinions, man, out loud. All right. So it's all good. Go Birds.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Go Birds, my guy. But hey, like I always say, fly, Eagles, fly. And here it is, the other intro. Let us know which one you like the most. Here we go.
What's going on, everybody, man? And welcome to the very, 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 very first episode of The Truth, where not all Eagle fans agree on everything, and this is definitely the spot where this shit about to go down.
Let's go. I can see me, my destiny is to invest in me. A quest to be the best, yeah, legend free. From a world swift to the soul wounded. I got dreams and they feel so lucid. I got dreams that they think are stupid. It's alright, sit back cause I do this. I don't take this life for granted, my mind's expanding. It's time for a fight, command of the war. I want more, yeah, I said I want more. Took a life full of hooks, time to even the score.